Are you searching for a deeper meaning in life, a way to escape the endless cycle of stress, worry, and dissatisfaction? Imagine if the secret to true peace and happiness was already within you, just waiting to be uncovered. Over 2,500 years ago, Siddhartha Gautama, whom we know as the Buddha, unveiled profound truths about the human condition and how we can transcend suffering. His wisdom, rooted in compassion and insight, continues to shine as a guiding light in our modern, fast-paced world. In this video, we'll explore 5 timeless lessons from the Buddha that reveal the path to inner peace and enlightenment. These teachings are not just philosophies. They are practical tools you can use to transform your daily life. Whether you're seeking balance amidst chaos, clarity amidst confusion, or simply a more profound connection with yourself, these insights will illuminate your journey. But before we dive in, take a moment to pause and reflect. What does peace mean to you? Let us know in the comments below. And if you find value in today's video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your engagement helps us continue bringing you timeless wisdom for a happier, more peaceful life. Let's begin this journey together and discover how the Buddha's teachings can lead us all toward a life of serenity, balance, and enlightenment. Lesson 1: Understanding the nature of suffering. The nature of dukkha. In the Buddha's first discourse, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, he expounded the 4 noble truths, with the first being the truth of dukkha. Often translated as suffering, dukkha encompasses a broader range of experiences: discomfort, dissatisfaction, and the inherent unsatisfactoriness of life. It is a central theme in the Buddha's teachings, emphasizing that the human experience is marked by conditions that fail to provide lasting happiness. Dukkha arises in many forms. Physical pain, emotional distress, and existential dissatisfaction are all expressions of it. Even pleasurable experiences are tinged with dukkha because they are impermanent and ultimately incapable of providing enduring peace. The root causes of suffering. The Buddha identified 3 fundamental causes of dukkha, known as the 3 poisons, akusala mula. 1. Greed, lobha, the desire for sensory pleasures, material possessions, and status leads to attachment. This craving, ta, binds us to a cycle of endless seeking, leaving us unfulfilled. 2. Hatred, dosa. Aversion or ill will arises when we resist what is unpleasant. This rejection perpetuates conflict and inner turmoil. 3. Delusion, moha, misunderstanding the nature of reality clouds our perception, preventing us from seeing things as they truly are. These poisons create karmic consequences that perpetuate the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, samsara, keeping beings trapped in suffering. Impermanence and non-self. The Buddha taught that dukkha is intricately linked to the nature of existence. All conditioned phenomena are subject to 3 characteristics. 1. Impermanence, anicca. Everything arises, exists, and eventually ceases. From our thoughts to our bodies, nothing is exempt from change. This impermanence makes attachment futile, as we inevitably lose what we cling to. 2. Non-self, anatta, there is no permanent, independent self. What we perceive as I or mine is merely a collection of ever-changing physical and mental processes. Misidentifying with these processes leads to suffering. 3. Dukkha, because of impermanence and the absence of a lasting self, all conditioned phenomena are inherently unsatisfactory. Understanding these truths helps us disentangle ourselves from the illusions that perpetuate suffering. Craving as the cause of dukkha. In the second noble truth, the Buddha identified craving, ta, as the primary cause of suffering. Craving manifests in 3 forms. 1. Craving for sensual pleasures, kamata. The pursuit of pleasurable experiences through the senses. 2. Craving for existence, bhavata, the desire to continue being or to achieve a specific identity or state. 3. Craving for non-existence, vibhavata, the wish to escape or cease existence, often as a reaction to pain or dissatisfaction. This craving creates attachment and fuels the cycle of samsara. For example, craving wealth or relationships binds us to the fear of losing them. Even when we attain what we desire, the temporary satisfaction is followed by longing for more. Letting go of attachment. The Buddha emphasized the importance of recognizing and letting go of attachments to find freedom from suffering. This process begins with mindfulness and introspection. By observing the arising and passing away of thoughts, emotions, and sensations, we see their impermanent nature. Through meditation, we cultivate insight, vipassana, into the nature of reality. This practice allows us to perceive the transient and interdependent nature of all phenomena, reducing our attachment to them. Letting go does not mean abandoning life but engaging with it without clinging. Practical steps to overcome dukkha. 1. Mindfulness. Study. The foundation of Buddhist practice is mindfulness, which involves maintaining awareness of the present moment. By observing thoughts and sensations without judgment, we learn to see their impermanent nature and let go of attachment. 2. Meditation. Bhavana meditation cultivates mental clarity and concentration, samadhi, enabling us to see the causes of suffering more clearly. Practices like loving kindness, metta, meditation also help dissolve ill will and promote compassion. 3. Ethical conduct. Sila. Living ethically reduces the harm we cause to ourselves and others. By following the 5 precepts, abstaining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, and intoxicants, we create a foundation for inner peace. 4. Wisdom. Panna. Developing wisdom through study and contemplation helps us understand the 4 noble truths and the nature of dukkha. This understanding fosters equanimity and acceptance. The role of the Eightfold Path. The Buddha offered the Noble Eightfold Path as a practical guide to overcoming dukkha. It consists of 3 categories. 1. Wisdom, panna. Right view and right intention. 2. Ethical conduct, sila. Right speech, right action, and right livelihood. 3. Mental development, samadhi. Right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. By following this path, we gradually purify our minds, reduce craving, and cultivate the conditions for liberation. Freedom through non-attachment. The ultimate goal of the Buddha's teachings is to transcend dukkha through the realization of nibbana, nirvana. Nibbana is the cessation of craving and the extinguishing of the fires of greed, hatred, and delusion. It is a state of unconditioned peace and freedom from suffering. To move toward this liberation, we must embrace impermanence and relinquish our attachment to fleeting pleasures and false identities. This does not mean withdrawing from life but engaging with it with wisdom and compassion. Reflection. As you contemplate the nature of dukkha, ask yourself, what are the attachments in my life that cause me the most suffering? How can I begin to let go of these attachments? Am I willing to embrace impermanence as a path to freedom? The Buddha's teachings remind us that suffering is not an inevitable part of life. By understanding its nature and causes, we can take steps to free ourselves and uncover the inner peace that lies within. Lesson 2: Practicing Mindfulness. The essence of mindfulness. Mindfulness, or sati in Pali, is one of the key practices in the Buddha's teachings. It is the ability to maintain awareness of the present moment with clarity and non-judgment. The Buddha placed mindfulness at the heart of the Noble Eightfold Path. Under the category of right mindfulness, samasati, emphasizing its transformative power in leading to liberation. Mindfulness is not merely an intellectual exercise, it is a lived experience. It involves observing thoughts, emotions, sensations, and actions as they arise and pass away. By cultivating mindfulness, we develop insight into the impermanent and interdependent nature of reality, leading to a reduction in suffering, dukkha. The 4 foundations of mindfulness. The Buddha detailed the practice of mindfulness in the Satipatthana Sutta, which outlines the 4 foundations of mindfulness, Cattaro Satipatthana. 1. Mindfulness of the body, Kayanupassana, observing the physical body, including breathing, posture, and bodily activities, as well as its impermanent nature. 2. Mindfulness of feelings, Vedananyapasana, being aware of feelings or sensations, whether pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, and understanding their transient nature. 3. Mindfulness of the mind, Siddhanupasana, observing mental states and processes, such as thoughts, emotions, and intentions, without attachment or aversion. 4. Mindfulness of Dhammas, Dhammanupasana, contemplating mental phenomena and teachings, such as the 5 hindrances, the 4 noble truths, and the 7 factors of enlightenment. These foundations provide a comprehensive framework for practicing mindfulness in every aspect of life. Mindfulness in daily life. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is not confined to formal meditation, it is a practice to be integrated into every moment. In the Masatipana Sutta, he urged practitioners to be mindful in all activities, from walking and eating to speaking and thinking. This continuity of awareness strengthens concentration, samadhi, and fosters a deeper understanding of reality. Practical steps to cultivate mindfulness. 1. Mindful breathing. Begin by focusing on the breath, a practice called anapanasati. Observe the natural flow of the breath as it enters and leaves the nostrils. This simple practice anchors the mind in the present and calms mental agitation. 2. Mindful observation, pay attention to your surroundings without judgment. Notice the colors, sounds, and textures around you. This practice enhances sensory awareness and reduces mental distractions. 3. Mindful eating, focus on the taste, texture, and aroma of each bite. Eating mindfully helps us appreciate food as nourishment and reduces tendencies toward overindulgence. 4. Mindful walking, walk slowly and deliberately, paying attention to each step. This practice grounds us in the present moment and fosters a sense of peace. 5. Mindful reflection, at the end of each day, reflect on your actions, thoughts, and emotions with a spirit of inquiry and kindness. This helps identify patterns and areas for growth. The benefits of mindfulness. 1. Clarity of mind, mindfulness reduces mental clutter and confusion, allowing us to see things as they truly are. 2. Stress reduction, by focusing on the present moment, mindfulness alleviates anxiety about the future and regret about the past. 3. Improved relationships. Mindfulness fosters patience, empathy, and better communication, enhancing our interactions with others. 4. Emotional balance. Observing emotions without judgment helps us respond wisely rather than react impulsively. 5. Inner peace, mindfulness reveals the impermanent and interdependent nature of reality, reducing attachment and fostering equanimity. Challenges in practicing mindfulness. Like any skill, mindfulness requires consistent effort and patience. Common challenges include 1. Restlessness. The mind's tendency to wander can make it difficult to stay focused. This can be addressed by gently redirecting attention to the present moment. 2. Judgment. We often label thoughts and emotions as good or bad, creating unnecessary tension. Mindfulness encourages observing without judgment. 3. Expectations. Seeking immediate results can lead to frustration. Progress in mindfulness unfolds gradually through regular practice. The role of mindfulness in liberation. Mindfulness is not just a tool for stress relief or well-being, it is a path to liberation. By observing the arising and passing away of phenomena, we gain insight into the 3 characteristics of existence. 1. Impermanence, anicca, recognizing that all things are transient helps us let go of attachment. 2. Unsatisfactoriness, dukkha. Understanding the unsatisfactory nature of conditioned existence motivates us to seek liberation. 3. Non-self, anatta. Realizing the absence of a permanent self dissolves the illusion of I and mine. This insight, cultivated through mindfulness, leads to the cessation of craving, ta, and the realization of nibbana, the ultimate freedom from suffering. Reflection. As the Buddha advised, mindfulness begins with small, deliberate steps. Dedicate just a few moments each day to being fully present. Over time, mindfulness becomes a natural way of being, transforming how we experience life. Let us end with the Buddha's timeless words. Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. When we live mindfully, we align ourselves with the truth of the present, finding clarity, peace, and profound joy in the here and now. Compassion and interconnectedness. In the Buddha's teachings, compassion arises from understanding the interdependent nature of all beings. The principle of dependent origination, paticca samuppada, reveals that our lives are intricately connected. Recognizing this interconnection dissolves the illusion of separateness and strengthens our commitment to the well-being of others. The Buddha often used the metaphor of a lotus to describe this process. Just as the lotus rises above muddy water, compassion allows us to transcend selfishness and cultivate purity of heart. Reflection on the teachings. The Buddha's emphasis on compassion and loving kindness is not merely a prescription for individual peace but a path to creating a harmonious and just society. Imagine a world where these principles are universally practiced, where conflicts are resolved with empathy, and kindness prevails over hostility. As the Buddha said, in this world, hatred never ceases by hatred, it ceases by love alone. This is an eternal truth. Through the cultivation of compassion and loving kindness, we align ourselves with this eternal truth, transforming not only our own hearts but the world around us. Let us begin this practice today, starting with ourselves and extending it outward, one thought and one act at a time. May all beings be happy, safe, and free from suffering. Lesson 3: Cultivating Compassion and Loving Kindness. The essence of compassion and loving kindness. Compassion, karu, and loving kindness, metta, are at the heart of the Buddha's teachings, forming the foundation of ethical living and spiritual development. These qualities are more than moral principles, they are transformative practices that guide us toward inner peace and liberation. Compassion is the heartfelt desire to alleviate the suffering of others, while loving kindness is the unconditional wish for all beings to be happy and free from suffering. Together, they represent the Buddha's vision of an interconnected world, where the well-being of one is inseparable from the well-being of all. The Buddha taught that cultivating these qualities purifies the mind, dissolves hatred, and fosters harmony. In the Dhammapada, he stated, "Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule." The practice of loving kindness, metta bhavana. The cultivation of loving kindness is a deliberate practice, often referred to as metta bhavana. This practice begins with generating kind and loving thoughts toward oneself and gradually extending them to others, including friends, neutral people, and even those with whom we have conflicts. Begin with yourself. Sit in a comfortable position and close your eyes. Repeat phrases such as, "May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from suffering." Reflect on your own worth and the kindness you deserve. Extend to loved ones. Bring to mind someone you care deeply about. Offer them the same kind wishes, "May you be happy. May you be safe. May you live with ease." Expand to neutral people. Think of someone you encounter but do not know well, such as a neighbor or a store clerk. Send them thoughts of loving kindness, recognizing their shared humanity. Include difficult people. This step can be challenging, but it is essential for breaking down barriers of resentment. Offer kind wishes to someone with whom you have conflicts, "May you be free from suffering. May you find peace." Embrace all beings. Finally, extend your loving kindness to all living beings, without exception. Imagine your compassion radiating outwards like the light of a lamp, touching all corners of the world. The role of compassion, karuna. Compassion arises naturally when we recognize the suffering of others and feel a deep wish to relieve it. The Buddha emphasized that compassion should not be limited by personal relationships or boundaries. True compassion is impartial and universal. In the Kara Sutta, the Buddha encouraged practitioners to see others' suffering as their own, fostering a sense of shared humanity. Compassion is not about pity or condescension. It is about connecting with others on a profound level, acknowledging their struggles and offering support. Practical ways to cultivate compassion. Empathy practice. Reflect on the challenges others face, imagining their perspective. This helps break down feelings of separation and fosters a sense of unity. Acts of service. Volunteer your time or resources to help those in need. Small gestures, such as listening to someone in distress, can have a significant impact. Practice forgiveness. Let go of grudges and ill will toward others. Recognize that everyone acts based on their own conditions and limitations. Meditation on compassion. Visualize someone who is suffering and mentally offer them comfort and relief. Repeat phrases such as, "May you be free from pain. May you find peace." The benefits of compassion and loving kindness. The Buddha described many benefits of cultivating loving kindness and compassion in the Metta Sutta. These include peaceful sleep. A mind imbued with loving kindness is free from agitation, allowing for restful sleep. Harmonious relationships. Kindness fosters goodwill and understanding, improving interactions with others. Protection from harm. A compassionate heart generates positive energy, creating a protective aura. Mental clarity. Loving kindness reduces anger and fear, promoting mental clarity and stability. Spiritual growth. Compassion purifies the mind, leading to deeper insights and spiritual progress. Overcoming challenges in cultivating compassion. While the practice of compassion and loving kindness is powerful, it is not without challenges. Common obstacles include resentment and anger. Negative emotions can make it difficult to extend kindness to others. Overcome this by reflecting on the impermanent and conditioned nature of others' actions. Self-criticism. Many people struggle to offer loving kindness to themselves. Remember that self-compassion is the foundation of extending kindness to others. Impatience. The effects of these practices may not be immediately noticeable. Trust in the gradual unfolding of the practice, as the Buddha emphasized steady effort. Compassion and interconnectedness. In the Buddha's teachings, compassion arises from understanding the interdependent nature of all beings. The principle of dependent origination, Paticca Samuppada, reveals that our lives are intricately connected. Recognizing this interconnection dissolves the illusion of separateness and strengthens our commitment to the well-being of others. The Buddha often used the metaphor of a lotus to describe this process. Just as the lotus rises above muddy water, compassion allows us to transcend selfishness and cultivate purity of heart. Reflection on the teachings. The Buddha's emphasis on compassion and loving kindness is not merely a prescription for individual peace but a path to creating a harmonious and just society. Imagine a world where these principles are universally practiced, where conflicts are resolved with empathy, and kindness prevails over hostility. As the Buddha said, "In this world, hatred never ceases by hatred, it ceases by love alone." This is an eternal truth. Through the cultivation of compassion and loving kindness, we align ourselves with this eternal truth, transforming not only our own hearts but the world around us. Let us begin this practice today, starting with ourselves and extending it outward, one thought and one act at a time. May all beings be happy, safe, and free from suffering. Lesson 4: Embracing the Middle Way, a Path to Peace and Enlightenment. The Buddha's journey to enlightenment offers valuable lessons for us all, teaching us the importance of balance in every aspect of our lives. In his early years, the Buddha sought liberation through both indulgence in sensual pleasures and through severe asceticism. He came to realize that neither extreme brought him peace or wisdom. It was only after abandoning these extremes and discovering a path of moderation that he achieved enlightenment. This realization led him to teach the middle way, a balanced approach to life that avoids the dangers of overindulgence and extreme self-denial. The middle way. The path of moderation. The Buddha's teachings on the middle way are simple yet profound. He said, "There is a middle path, O Bhikkhus, avoiding the two extremes." Discovered by the Tathagata, a path which opens the eyes and bestows understanding, which leads to peace, to direct knowledge, to enlightenment. This path does not advocate for self-indulgence or self-mortification. Rather, it is about finding a way of living that supports both physical and mental well-being while nurturing spiritual growth. In this teaching, we can recognize the core Buddhist principle of the dukkha, suffering. Both indulgence and self-denial are forms of suffering in themselves. Extreme indulgence can lead to attachment and dissatisfaction, while extreme asceticism causes physical and mental strain. Neither of these approaches leads to freedom from suffering. The middle way, on the other hand, provides a path that leads to peace and ultimate liberation. The dangers of extremes. To understand the essence of the middle way, we must first examine the two extremes that the Buddha identified in his own life. On one hand, there is the extreme of indulgence, where one gives in to every desire and seeks constant pleasure. This approach can lead to addiction, dissatisfaction, and suffering. People who follow this path may experience fleeting moments of happiness. But these moments are often followed by emptiness and longing. The Buddha recognized that sensual pleasures do not bring true happiness, as they are temporary and always leave a person wanting more. On the other hand, there is the extreme of self-denial or asceticism, where one rejects all pleasures and subjects oneself to intense physical suffering in an attempt to achieve spiritual purity. While this path may appear noble, the Buddha discovered that it also brings suffering. It is an unnatural and unsustainable way of living, and it can lead to a weakening of the body and mind, leaving a person far from the clarity and peace required for true spiritual insight. In both extremes, we find suffering. Neither indulgence nor asceticism leads to true freedom or enlightenment. The Buddha's insight into the middle way is an invitation to move beyond these extremes and find a path that is both fulfilling and liberating. Finding balance in daily life. The principle of the middle way is not just a philosophical concept but a practical guide to living. In our daily lives, we encounter situations where we can apply this teaching. The middle way encourages us to find balance between various aspects of life, such as work and rest, ambition and contentment, effort and relaxation. Work and rest. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to fall into the trap of overworking, believing that success and fulfillment are only achieved through constant effort. However, excessive work can lead to stress, burnout, and a sense of emptiness. The middle way teaches us that we must also honor the need for rest and relaxation. Both work and rest are necessary, but they must be balanced. Rest allows us to recharge and stay focused, while work helps us grow and contribute to society. By embracing the balance between these two, we create space for joy and well-being. Ambition and contentment. In a culture that often glorifies ambition, we may feel pressured to constantly strive for more money, more achievements, more recognition. While ambition can drive us forward, it is important not to lose sight of contentment. The middle way teaches that we can pursue our goals and aspirations without becoming attached to the outcomes. We can be ambitious, but we must also cultivate a sense of satisfaction with what we have in the present moment. True contentment comes from within, not from external accomplishments. Effort and relaxation. In our pursuit of spiritual growth, we often think that we must exert constant effort in meditation, study, or practice. However, the Buddha teaches that effort should be balanced with relaxation. Excessive effort can lead to tension and frustration, while relaxation allows the mind to remain calm and receptive. It is through this balance of effort and relaxation that we make true progress on our spiritual journey. The middle way and the path to enlightenment. The middle way is not just about achieving balance in everyday life, it is also the path to liberation. By following the middle way, we avoid the extremes that cause suffering and cultivate the conditions necessary for enlightenment. This path involves both wisdom and mindfulness. Wisdom is the understanding that the extremes of indulgence and asceticism do not lead to freedom from suffering. Mindfulness helps us maintain awareness in every moment, allowing us to make decisions that align with the middle way. The Buddha's own enlightenment came not from following extremes but from finding balance in his life. He practiced the middle way and discovered that true peace arises when we are free from attachment, aversion, and ignorance. The path of the middle way leads to the cessation of suffering and the realization of nirvana, the ultimate state of peace, clarity, and wisdom. Embracing the middle way in modern life. In today's world, we are constantly faced with the pressures of modern life. We are encouraged to be constantly busy, to strive for more, and to indulge in the pleasures that come our way. The Buddha's teaching of the middle way offers an alternative to this fast-paced, extreme way of living. It calls us to slow down, to reflect, and to find balance in every aspect of our lives. By embracing the middle way, we can avoid the traps of overindulgence and self-denial, creating a life of peace, happiness, and spiritual fulfillment. The middle way is not a one-time choice but an ongoing practice. It requires continuous self-awareness and mindfulness, as well as the courage to let go of attachments and judgments. Through this practice, we can create a life that is harmonious and aligned with our deepest values. The Buddha's teaching invites us to walk the path of balance, to find peace within ourselves, and to share that peace with the world. The middle way offers a path of moderation that leads to peace, wisdom, and enlightenment. It is a practical guide to living a balanced life, where we avoid the extremes of indulgence and asceticism. By embracing the middle way, we create space for joy, relaxation, and spiritual growth. We find balance in all things, work and rest, ambition and contentment, effort and relaxation. This balanced approach leads to a life of freedom from suffering and a deeper understanding of the nature of reality. As we walk the middle way, we move closer to the ultimate goal of enlightenment, where true peace and happiness reside. Lesson 5: The Power of Meditation, a Path to Inner Peace and Clarity. Meditation is one of the most fundamental practices in Buddhism, central to the Buddha's own path to enlightenment. It is a tool for transforming the mind, cultivating wisdom, and ultimately achieving liberation from suffering. The Buddha taught, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." This profound statement reflects the core of Buddhist meditation practice. True peace and happiness are not found in external conditions but within the mind itself. By quieting the mind, we connect to a deeper, more serene state of being that leads us to clarity, understanding, and liberation. The role of meditation in Buddhism. The Buddha's own journey to enlightenment was deeply rooted in meditation. After experiencing extreme indulgence and severe asceticism, the Buddha realized that neither of these approaches led to true freedom from suffering. It was through meditation that he discovered the path to liberation. He practiced deep concentration and mindfulness, training his mind to let go of attachment, craving, and delusion. Through this practice, he gained profound insights into the nature of reality and the causes of suffering. Meditation, therefore, is not simply a practice of relaxation or self-soothing. It is a transformative process that leads to wisdom. In the Buddha's teachings, meditation is integral to the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path, particularly right concentration and right mindfulness. It is through meditation that we develop the mental discipline necessary to see things as they truly are, free from the distortions of the ego and attachments. The benefits of meditation. Meditation offers numerous benefits that extend far beyond the confines of the meditation cushion. Although the benefits may not be immediately apparent, consistent practice leads to a gradual transformation of the mind and spirit. Some of the key benefits of meditation in Buddhism include calming the mind. One of the most immediate benefits of meditation is the calming of the restless, wandering mind. Our thoughts are often scattered and filled with distractions, making it difficult to focus and find peace. Meditation provides a space where we can slow down, focus, and observe the flow of thoughts without becoming entangled in them. Over time, the practice helps us develop greater mental clarity, allowing us to respond to situations with mindfulness rather than reactivity. Dissolving mental chatter. The Buddha spoke of the monkey mind, a mind that jumps from thought to thought without rest. This mental chatter creates confusion and anxiety, preventing us from experiencing peace. Through meditation, we gradually quiet this chatter, creating space for stillness. As the distractions subside, we begin to experience the deep peace that lies beneath the surface of the mind. This stillness is the foundation of mindfulness, which allows us to engage with the world more fully and with greater awareness. Developing insight. Meditation is not merely a practice of calming the mind. It is also a practice of developing insight into the true nature of reality. As we meditate, we begin to see more clearly the impermanent, interconnected, and insubstantial nature of all things. The Buddha taught that everything is subject to change, and meditation helps us understand this truth on a deep level. As we observe the rise and fall of thoughts, sensations, and emotions in meditation, we come to realize that they are temporary and not to be grasped or clung to. This insight leads to greater wisdom and freedom from attachment and suffering. Cultivating compassion. Meditation also helps cultivate qualities such as compassion, kindness, and equanimity. As we develop mindfulness and awareness, we begin to see the suffering of others with greater clarity. This understanding leads to a natural response of compassion. As we recognize that all beings share the same basic desires for happiness and freedom from suffering, meditation opens the heart, fostering a sense of connection to others and a deep sense of empathy. Achieving inner peace. The ultimate benefit of meditation is the cultivation of inner peace. By regularly practicing meditation, we come to understand that peace is not something external, but an intrinsic quality of the mind. The Buddha's teaching, "Peace comes from within," highlights this truth. Through meditation, we let go of external distractions and turn inward, discovering the stillness and clarity that lie within us. This inner peace is not dependent on external conditions, but remains constant, regardless of the challenges we may face in life. How to practice meditation. Meditation is a simple yet profound practice that can be integrated into daily life. While there are many different forms of meditation, the following guidelines provide a basic framework for getting started. Choose a quiet space. Find a place where you will not be disturbed, allowing yourself to focus fully on the practice. This can be anywhere, at home, in a park, or even at work, as long as you feel comfortable and able to concentrate. Adopt a comfortable posture. The Buddha recommended sitting in a posture that is both stable and alert. You may sit on a cushion, chair, or even lie down, as long as you are able to maintain a straight, relaxed spine. The goal is to be comfortable enough to remain focused, but alert enough to avoid falling asleep. Focus on the breath. Begin by bringing your attention to your breath. Observe the natural rhythm of the inhalations and exhalations, without trying to control them. The breath serves as an anchor, bringing the mind back to the present moment whenever it begins to wander. If your mind drifts, gently bring your focus back to the breath without judgment. Use a mantra, optional. If you find it difficult to focus, you may use a calming mantra, a word or phrase repeated silently to help center the mind. Common mantras in Buddhism include words such as peace, love, or breathe. The repetition of a mantra helps stabilize the mind and prevent distractions. Cultivate awareness. As you sit in meditation, observe whatever arises in your mind, thoughts, feelings, or sensations, without attachment or aversion. Simply notice them as they come and go, understanding that they are impermanent. With practice, you will develop greater awareness of your mental and emotional states, leading to deeper insights and greater equanimity. End with gratitude. When you feel ready to end the session, take a moment to express gratitude for the time you've spent in meditation. Acknowledge any insights or peace you've experienced, and carry this sense of calm with you as you go about your day. The power of consistency. While meditation can bring immediate benefits, the true power of meditation lies in consistent practice. Just as physical exercise requires regular effort to build strength, meditation requires ongoing commitment to transform the mind. Even a few minutes of meditation each day can make a significant difference in your mental and emotional well-being. Over time, the practice deepens, and the effects become more profound, leading to lasting peace and insight. The Buddha's teachings on meditation emphasize the importance of persistence and patience. Just as the lotus grows slowly from the mud, so too does wisdom grow through regular practice. The mind is like a field that must be cultivated over time, and the seeds of peace, compassion, and wisdom are planted through consistent effort. Conclusion: the path to inner peace and enlightenment. The teachings of the Buddha offer a timeless and profound roadmap for achieving inner peace, wisdom, and enlightenment. Rooted in the understanding of suffering and its causes, these teachings are not just abstract concepts but practical tools for transforming our lives. By studying the Four Noble Truths, practicing mindfulness, cultivating compassion, embracing balance through the middle way, and engaging in meditation, we can begin to unravel the deeper truths of our existence and break free from the cycle of suffering. The first noble truth teaches us that suffering, or dukkha, is an inherent part of life. It is important to acknowledge this truth, for only by understanding the nature of suffering can we begin the journey toward liberation. The Buddha did not offer a path of escapism but instead invited us to face suffering directly and work through it by transforming our minds and perceptions. Suffering is not to be feared but understood, and through that understanding, we can begin to find the peace that transcends it. The second noble truth reveals the cause of suffering: attachment and craving. These desires are born from ignorance and lead us to cling to things, people, and experiences that are impermanent. By cultivating mindfulness and awareness, we can see our attachments clearly and learn to let them go. This does not mean renouncing all desires but rather understanding them as they arise, not allowing them to control our lives. Mindfulness, as taught by the Buddha, is the practice of being fully present in each moment, observing our thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. This practice is the foundation for all other aspects of the path. Through mindfulness, we can develop clarity and insight into the workings of our minds. We learn to see things as they truly are, impermanent, interconnected, and devoid of a permanent self. By cultivating mindfulness in daily life, we gradually awaken to the reality of our own nature and the nature of the world around us. Compassion, or karuna, is another cornerstone of the Buddha's teachings. The Buddha taught that all beings experience suffering and that true happiness is found in alleviating that suffering, both in ourselves and others. Compassion arises naturally when we see the shared nature of human experience. As we meditate and practice mindfulness, our hearts open, and we develop greater empathy for the suffering of others. True compassion is not a mere feeling but an active, ongoing intention to help and support others, guided by wisdom. The middle way offers a path of balance between extremes. The Buddha cautioned against both indulgence and self-mortification, urging us to find harmony in all aspects of life. This balanced approach helps us avoid burnout, foster well-being, and create space for genuine joy. The middle way is not about avoiding challenges but about approaching them with equanimity and calm. It invites us to bring mindfulness, moderation, and clarity into our daily choices, actions, and interactions. Meditation, the key practice in Buddhism, enables us to quiet the mind, dissolve the distractions that cloud our perception, and connect with our deeper selves. Through meditation, we cultivate the mental discipline needed to walk the path of enlightenment. It is through regular practice that we develop wisdom, clarity, and an inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. As the Buddha said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Ultimately, the path to peace begins with a single step, the step within. Each day presents an opportunity to apply these teachings, whether through mindfulness in daily activities, cultivating compassion towards others, or setting aside time for meditation. By taking that step and integrating the Buddha's teachings into our lives, we can experience transformation from the inside out. True peace is not a distant ideal but a reality that we can cultivate in each moment. If these lessons resonate with you, reflect on how you might apply even one of them to your life today. Take a moment to pause, breathe, and observe how your thoughts and actions align with the path of peace. Remember, change begins with the willingness to take the first step. Share your reflections in the comments below, and if this video has been valuable, please like, subscribe, and continue to join us on this journey as we explore more timeless wisdom that leads to a happier, more peaceful life.